Hello. Do you have an interview coming up next? Then you should watch this video. You're welcome to today's episode of Talk with R. Ephraim. These videos are held every fortnight where I talk about career and personal finance. I have people join me on Instagram as well as on YouTube video. You're welcome wherever you're joining us from, and I hope you find this teaching valuable. I'll go straight to the point today, and I'll take questions at the end of the video. If you have any question, you can either post them on the chat, and I'll pick them up as soon as I'm done with the presentation. Before I proceed, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself and what I do. I am an author. I have written 6 books to date and currently working on the 7th one. My books are tailored to career people, mostly between the ages of 20 and 40 years old. And the target is to ensure that everyone within this age range are well equipped for the workplace and they have the right tools to be successful in whatever they do. So that's what I do, and that's what my books are all about. I also do interview coaching, of course, which is one reason why we are doing what we're doing today, how to answer why should we hire you. I also do CV and cover letters writing and personal finance coaching. Thank you. That's just a bit about me. If you want to find more, you can send a DM if this relates to things that you are interested in or things that you want to find more about. Please do get in touch. Okay, so straight to the topic for the day. Why should we hire you? I believe it's a very fundamental question that you will likely almost be asking every single interview. And when you have the right approach to answering it, you become more confident, and it helps you to the tricks I'm going to share in this video helps you to answer all the similar questions. There are some questions I've heard that are similar to why should we hire you, and one of them could be tell us about yourself, even though it's not entirely the same, but they have this the strategy you'll be learning on this one could help you better answer those questions. There are many ways that you can answer this question, so I'll take it first from an entry level perspective, and also from an angle of someone that is experienced, a more experienced person. Okay, so I'll just give maybe 3 points. I'll give 3 points because of the time that we have. Then I will give examples of how it can be used for entry level and also for more experienced professionals that are changing jobs or looking for career change, different career paths and things like that. So, 1. How do you go ahead to answer this question, why should we hire you? I believe the first thing that you can do is explain exactly what your experience has been and the type of skills you have acquired over the years. Don't rush it, because there's still time for you to expand on it. Just stating it to say, okay, these are the type of experiences I've had, and these are the qualities that I have learned in the course of my experience. 2 is explaining how those key experiences that you've picked up in the course of your career is beneficial to the job that you are being interviewed for. And the last one, of course, is how employing you for that role would be beneficial to the organization. So I have just given you 3 keys or strategies that you can employ to answer why should we hire you. And it's the same thing no matter whether you're entry level or you are an experienced professional. Those 3 strategies can work absolutely in any case. So the first one is your experience as well as the skills that you have gathered. From an entry-level perspective, you have obviously studied in school, and the course may be or maybe not related to the job that you're applying to, but you have to be able to demonstrate that, which is what the point 2 is all about. So the first one, what have you learned in the school? What did you learn? Say you're applying for a management consultant role and you ask, why should we hire you? And you're an entry level without any prior experiences. But you studied, say, Agric, for example. So those are totally unrelated parts. But you are coming here, so it's a difficult situation to be in. You have no knowledge of what a management consultant would be or would do, but you understand from the job description exactly what you need to do. So how do you relate that to the job? First of all, you can come out and say, I graduated from a prestigious university. I like to always use that word prestigious. The interviewer might doubt whether the school is prestigious, but like I always say, that's their own business. But according to you, your school is prestigious. So always be bold to say, oh, I'm a graduate of this prestigious university and I studied agricultural science and graduated with a first class degree, or you can say with a second class upper degree, depending on what you graduate with. If it's lower than that, you don't need to. You can just say you graduated with a BNG or BSc, as the case may be. Then, what are the things that are relevant from what you studied to how that can benefit the company? So from entry level, you can say that as part of your studies, you were involved in different teams. Remember, as a management accountant, you're going to be expected to work in teams. So these are things that you can draw experience from, that you can use that to explain. So while you were studying agric science in the university, you had the opportunity to work with different teams, and highlighting that will show that you have gained some skills. So these are the skills that you gain in that from that study that you believe would be beneficial to the role that you're applying for. So you had the opportunity and you got the skill you learned from studying agric is that you're involved in teams to do assignments, and these are the roles you played. So it shows, first of all, that you're able to work in teams. One, it also shows that you are capable of contributing in a team. You're a team player, and so these are things that you're drawing from that singular experience. And so how would that be beneficial, which is the third one? Remember I said your background, what you studied, the skills you generated from or you gained from what you studied, and how those skills are going to be beneficial. So of course you'd have done your research to say that from the job description you understand that we are going to be working in teams, and based on the experience that I gained from these the assignments that we carried out, these are the things that I gained. I'm able to work as a leader in a team by being proactive and coordinating the whole process. That's one. Two, I'm also able to work as a member of a team by giving my own opinion on what I think about things, and I believe that would add value to your organization. As an entry level, not so much is expected, but your ability to learn and those skills that you're able to highlight that you have gotten over the period. So that's coming from an entry level perspective. The second one that I talked about is for a more professional person. It's the same approach, but because you have more experience, you have more depth to talk from, especially because much is now expected from you as you have experience. So what I would do if I were you, first of all, you can still go back to say you graduated from a prestigious university, or you can just go straight to the value in the companies that you have worked in the past. Like me, for example, I've worked in what in the accounting world is what we call the Big Four. So that's an advantage to say, well, after graduation from the university, I worked in the Big Four where I was involved in auditing financial statements, working with different teams and clients. And these are the skills that I have learned. I have learned project management. I have learned how to lead a team, a high-paced environment like that. You need to work with a dynamic team to deliver, and that's what I have gained over the period. Those are skills. Now, how are these skills going to be important to the client? Remember, the value proposition is what you're selling. Yes, you have demonstrated that you are a competent person, you have credentials, you have the skills and experience, but how is that going to be beneficial to the company that you are applying to? Fantastic. So this is where you need to have done your research. Remember, wherever you're going out for an interview, you always need to do your research, especially from the advert or job descriptions that will be highlighted in the advert. So you can draw from there. You just pick a skill. It can just be one skill, maybe the first one, just to tell them or to show them that you actually did your research and understand exactly what the requirements are. And from the job description, you meet all the expectation because of your experience. Then you can now draw one to say, okay, project management. This is a skill that I have gotten over the years, and this is what I did as a project manager. I set up a team, I distributed responsibility, I was able to follow up on team members to know exactly what they were doing. If anyone needed some sort of feedback, you're there to give them feedback, and after all of that, you're able to meet the deadline or deliver on a project. So all of these things are the things that you do to highlight the value that you're bringing to the table. So, in short, what I have explained, why should we hire you? First of all, talk about your experience, if they are quality experience from a firm, or if they are good university that you schooled from. Two, what are the skills that you learned in that school or experienced job that you have had? Three, how are those skills relevant for the job that you're applying for? What is the value proposition that you're bringing to the table? Once you're done with these three, you're good. You have nailed the interview. Yeah, it's possible that there are other questions that might follow up after that, but this is the main strategy to answering this seemingly difficult question. Like I said in my promo video, there are a lot of things you can get right. There are other things that you can get wrong if you don't know how best to answer this question. So, for most interviews, there are different questions that you will be asked. And I have just given you a strategy for one. There are other questions that you might struggle with if you don't understand the strategy. So I'm going to invite you, if you have any interview coming up next, you need someone to talk to before then, I'm the right person for you to talk to. So get in touch, send us a DM, send us an email. Just get in touch to know how you don't want to keep doing interviews and interviews and interviews again before you know that one interview is just enough to land a job. So if you are thinking or have one interview coming up next, please do get in touch and I'll be glad to work with you. Thank you so much for tonight. And like I mentioned before, I have written several books. You might want to go over my DM to see the ones that are of value to you and that you can get to add value to yourself and of course to your library. Any questions so far? I would take them now. I haven't so now would be a good time to ask questions if you have. Otherwise, I would just see you next time. Of course, it will be in another fortnight where I'll be delivering another topic which will most likely be related to finance. And just one more information before you go. I'm actually thinking of having a live session where I'll be treating live interview questions. So you ask the questions and I'll answer those interview questions, just so that we can rub minds and you can understand exactly how this is done. And it might be something that you want to go private on much later to understand other dynamics of answering questions. So I'll just take live questions from people that are interested in having those sessions. But we'll announce the dates soon on subsequent posts if you follow us on Instagram especially. Alright, until next time, I'll see you. Bye bye for now.